All right, so welcome to another video. Today, what I want to do is just share with you a little tidbits here on buying diagonals in kind of this market condition that we have. So I'll make it a quick video here. I have kind of some family things that I'm doing, and I just want to share with you a little thoughts and insights. Keep in mind, none of these are recommendations to buy, sell, or trade stocks, just my own personal opinion. You can also grab my opinion in the Discord channel. Just go ahead. This is like a live chat room. You can go in and basically ask me questions in there. And that way, if you have ideas and thoughts about stock movements and so on, you can go ahead and do that. So it kind of looks something like this, and I'll post periodically, hey, things are breaking out. Like here's Tesla breaking out a little bit, and trend lines and channels and some option stuff as well. Okay, let's take a look at Facebook. And I just want to show you some stuff here on Facebook. If we look at Facebook, the way it's creating kind of our rounding base, and we'll just put it to a little bit of a candlestick. It's a little bit easier to see. So right here, I've got this 200 that it's kind of breaking or trying to hold the 200. So if we're looking for a bullish move, again, could we be in a bearish market, but a short-term bullish uptrend? Sure. Could be still be in a, just now things are fading out and now we're going to be more bullish. Sure, that's possible as well. But with that in mind, if you liked Facebook at 350, you probably like it at 200. It's a lot cheaper now, and we're getting way at lower levels. That puts it back into 2020, so a few years back. Okay. So let's pretend you like Facebook. How do I go ahead and create a bullish position on Facebook? Okay, so what I can do, and I'll just put it into something right here, a little bit different. I could go to 36, 43 days out or so. So let's go about 36 days. I could do we'll start out with a calendar here, just because a lot of people are comfortable with calendars. Instead of selling verticals, which will be very directional, I could start with a little bit of a calendar. I'm going to change these strikes. The reason I'm doing that is because the mountain, there's probably earnings somewhere in here. The mountain looks a little off. This looks a little better. Okay, so now I've got a calendar. Now, if you are bullish and you're doing a calendar, you probably want to do something around further out, like maybe 230, maybe 220. And now you've got more range, because otherwise this thing could overshoot quite a bit. So what we want to do then is, let's say if we do something like that, but if we are worried about it overshooting, I could actually just bring it back to the 200s right here. And then instead of a calendar, I'll change it to a custom. And what I'll do is I'll switch it to the 195 or so. If the 197.5 was available, I'd do that, but we could do the 195. And now I've got this diagonal. So the point of doing something like this is I'm still long exposed, about 6 shares of Facebook. So this is a 6 delta. I've got some theta coming in, and I've got a positive vega. So I've got a positive vega. With a positive vega, what's nice about this is that now if it pulls back, that vega could help you. Okay, so that vega can help you quite a bit. And you can do this with a lot of different stocks. So let's pretend like we like Amazon. Okay, so here's another Amazon example. So just to give you an idea, here we go 28 days out. And you could just start out with a diagonal right away if you like. Buy a diagonal, and then it'll set it up for you. Okay, and there we go. There's the price. So now what I can do is start rotating this diagonal a bit. And when you have more strikes, what you could see is the rotation can be just subtle, right? Whereas with Facebook, we had a pretty big pop right away. This one I could do, another 5 points and another 10 points, and the rotation is not that significant. So I could just tweak it as per my liking. And now this makes it real nice, because I could do it something like this, where it's just a slow grind up. If I'm less aggressive at the beginning, I could do it even less aggressive, where I'm only a 3 delta long on Amazon. I could go even more aggressive and just rotate it further, where I'm 16 deltas long. And with a big stock like this, that is much more aggressive, right? So it just depends, how do you want to kind of trade it or play it? It's really just a matter of personal preference. So now I've got this rotation, and now look at this positive vega. That's super nice to have, because now if that stock pulls back, when it pulls back, those vegas will help me. And watch what's going to happen is this 10, let's say this increases by 5 volatility points. Let's just increase it here. Here is my number key is not working. 3 right there, and you can see it just puffs out that tent quite a bit more, and it just expands your range on the downside. So that's kind of the power behind doing something like this. Is it's just much more flexible, that now if we get a sell-off, you're buying some volatility, and that means you're buying some options, and with buying the options, it doesn't hurt you as bad. Yes, it will still hurt you. It just maybe not hurt you as bad as maybe a vertical or iron condor or that kind of thing, because you are long Vega. Okay, now let's say you are super scared. Well, the way to do this is, let's say if you're still super scared about the stock you love or the stock you want to get, what you could do is go deeper in. So go to 3,000, and here is the 30, let's go 3020 maybe, no, 3050 maybe. Let's see if it's available. 3,000, and the 3050 is not traded, so we're gonna have to play around here. Let's see which one's not being registered. What you'll do is you'll just go much further in. Here we go, 3050, 3050. Let's see if we can get 3,000. There we go. And can we get 2970? Here we go. Okay, and we'll bring this one into 3,000. And what you can see is I could actually increase this with a ton of range with having a tiny delta. Now you might say, well, you're almost way out of the money over here, or it's not going to benefit you. Yes, it will, because I've got a positive delta. The Vega could be a problem. If this spikes up, it could be a bit of an issue. So that's why maybe I want a little more rotation than in that case on that. And there, look, on the upside, I don't really have a ton of problem on the upside. It's minimal, right? My profit is minimal, but I've got much more range and cushion here on the downside, so it's much more protected. So that's another way to kind of approach something like this. You could do this on any stock you like. You take your pick. Let's go with a Netflix or a Shopify. They all work very similar, and it's the whole point is really you're just looking to buy in. Here, let's go 28 days on Shop. And we'll go in and we'll buy a diagonal. Okay, and calls or puts doesn't really matter when you're at the money. I would typically do kind of puts if you're looking for a little bit longer, so that way you're out of the money, but you could do calls. It doesn't matter that much. Okay, so let's go here, and now look, I've got a little rotation. There it is. There's my Shop. I've got a bullish bet on it, and I've got it going on. Now I could go in, let's say we've got 10 contracts or 20 contracts. If you're trading a little larger right here, what you could do is add an extra put. So I could customize this, and we could buy one extra put or even two, and that will slow down my downside problem a little bit. Okay, so doing something like that, let's go to this way and then get 3 extra puts. So now I've got this tail end risk protected as well. So I've got upside room, I've got downside protection, and it's looking to work, you know, fairly well there for this type of trade. So this way, if it does crash like 30% or something, you're still fairly protected. So this is kind of a nice approach to getting started in the marketplace, especially with a lot of stocks that are now, let's say like Facebook starting to try and bounce a little bit, or you've got like Apple trying to bounce, you've got PayPal trying to create this rotation. Yeah, people say it's not making money, but it still doesn't matter. The stock is, if the stock is moving, Square starting to move. So what I'm noticing is that a lot of these things, like in the $100 range, Zoom starting to move. I think Roku's today as well a little bit. Look at them, they're all at that $100 price range. Just take your pick, and these are interesting bets and plays to take a look at here in these kinds of conditions with these types of strategies. Now if you're a little more aggressive, you could also be a little short Vega. If you're cautious, you could be long Vega like I talked about here. You could also go ahead and do just a regular calendar right here, where if you go in and you go to custom and we go to 650 and 650 here, and then we'll go and change it back to calendar. And if I just want to be a little extra cautious, I could just move this out to 730, and now I've got range on a calendar like this. That's a bullish calendar. A little bit of the downside here is if we do have an explosive move to the upside, then in that case, that could actually blow through that upper end, and I could have risk if it just explodes too fast. So anyways, hope that helps, gives you a few little insights. You know, I'm off to do some skating with the kids, so enjoy the rest of the day and week ahead. Hope this gives you some thoughts and ideas to some trades here to put on. You could always set them at a cheap price, and as you go do things, they might get filled and they may not. Anyway, thanks again. Enjoy the rest of the week ahead, and I will see you next time.